Hey there, hey, and welcome to the Wednesday pod of Born to Be a Star. Just want to say rest in peace to my cousin Donnie, who unfortunately passed away. His funeral was yesterday. I'm sad I couldn't go to it, but I'm glad that my family was there to represent him. I do hope that God welcomed him into heaven. And in fact, I know that is what happened. I am excited about our conversation that we're going to have today. So let's get to it. Today is an opportunity for you to recognize your star power, and today is a day for you to recognize that you can do anything you put your mind to. Yes, you can, and you should never give up. Those are the things that we say to each other every day. Things can be difficult sometimes. You can feel like you can't do something, but if you're positive, then it's possible that you can accomplish anything you put your mind to.
You've seen him. That's why to believe him.
That's something that we should always be thinking about. How can we get to what we're thinking about? How can we focus and finish what we started? Those are things that we should be trying to do. And there's nothing wrong with us trying to finish something that we started. So I dare you, I encourage you to stay positive, stay happy, resonate in light, and be the light. Today is Wednesday, and it's just another opportunity for you to utilize your star power and to light up the world together. Stars are illuminations of light. And regardless of the society and the world and social media and these rich people or famous people telling you what they think, don't forget what you feel. Don't forget that. Let's get to the next part of our conversation, which is the best part of our conversation, one of the best parts of our conversation, because we have segments here. Let's get to it. No media allowed, no media allowed, no media allowed, because they lie to us anyway.
Are you an actual idiot?
At this point, how do we deal with Biden, right? And let me explain what I'm saying.
Someone tried to steal your buttercake.
How do we deal with Biden? He's obviously not fit for the job. Not only is he not fit for the job, but he's sort of an embarrassment. I mean, he literally cannot have a cognizant conversation with anybody, whether it's on television, over a radio, or at the White House where he resides. The polls have him under 50%. If that's not a representation of how much he's not liked in America, then I don't know what is. I mean, how do we do this? How do people keep lying? How does the media keep trying to hide this? There's a serious immigration problem in the United States of America where we're allowing way too many people to come over here claiming that they need to be protected, and they're claiming that they're in harm's way. Well, there's a way to do that, and just opening the border isn't that way. If these people aren't coming over here correctly, then I'm not sure how this is supposed to work. I don't know. Forgive me for asking, but how does this work? Like I've said it multiple times on multiple podcasts. The United States is supposed to be a place of freedom and understanding, and that's not what it is right now. It's a nightmare. People get to come over here and do whatever the fuck they want. Then they get to take away the saying, I pledge allegiance to the flag in the morning for kids. You're changing education. You're changing the way these people get things. You're giving foreigners things that you haven't given to Americans. There's Americans on lists waiting for help, and you just allow Afghanistani people to come over through the night, and you give them cars and jobs, and you just set them up. Why the fuck are they owed that and we aren't? How the fuck does that work? It's really upsetting that you care more about foreigners than people from your own country. The idea of American is ridiculous. And I don't want to hear people from other places that have come over here and become American that way talk about shit. Because no, I'm talking about Americans, born here, raised here. And then people from other countries get to go over here and take over our country and act like it's theirs. That's not okay. Someone needs to fucking say something. It's really upsetting. But no one's going to say something. We've got elderly people in political offices that shouldn't be there. We've got people who clearly don't know what the fuck they're doing, running things, and it's not working. It's just crazy, and no one really wants to talk about it, and no one wants to get into the problem here. I mean, I'll do it because I don't care. I don't work for anybody. This podcast I do is for myself. I'm not on a news network. I don't work for the Young Turks. I don't have to hide how I feel and pretend like I agree with progressive shit when I don't. Don't get me wrong. At the beginning of this, about a year or two ago, I was listening to the Young Turks. I was like questioning some of the things that they were saying. And then when this 2020 election came about, I was just like, fuck this. And I switched over to Republican again just because they're all pretending like January 6th was a big deal. And I said it the other day. Are we acting like 9/11 wasn't far worse? Because it was. Just the idea that no one wants to be held responsible. A congresswoman from LA's top county had to resign because she said racist shit about someone of color, probably. And Biden is definitely racist against black people. They're just checking boxes off. They don't actually care about black people or any minority. They want to pretend like they do. People that are minorities need to wake the fuck up. These people aren't on your side. They want to keep you in a box with a key, and then they'll let you out when they want to. They'll give you a couple of things because it looks nice and it sounds good. Do you really want that? Do you want to be living in public housing? Do you want to have to struggle to get your bills paid? Do you want to live off the state that you live in, getting food stamps, having to eat certain foods? Do you really want that to be your life? Do you want to purposely have children just so you can live off the government and get a higher fucking tax during tax time? You just having all these kids because you want to get a tax check? Because you're not actually parents. Because being a parent is a big ass responsibility. And the majority of these people aren't. And that's an important part of this conversation today. The United States has a lot of things that are a problem. And I'm not sure how this is going to be fixed. But we have to stay focused. Not only do we need to stay focused, but we need to be aware of what they're doing. It can't just be they get to destroy the United States. How are we in a position where people are going to politicians' homes because they're in the Supreme Court trying to protest on their doorstep, and that shit's not on the news? Now, that's already happened. But how's that legal? And you're talking about January 6th? You have people threatening to kill people, and you're talking about all these things? How? How do we get to this point? How do we get to the point where we keep hearing all this shit and no one does anything about it? Kamala Harris is an embarrassment. She's right behind Joe Biden. They're just all really just horrible. It's just embarrassing. Let's not forget talking about the other fact that China and Chinese have bought all this land in America, and now they're making Americans pay for the land that they own. Why does no one talk about that? China has an agenda here to ruin this country, and they're doing a pretty fucking great job of it. And Joe Biden and his bitch son and other Americans that are really like fully just gone are doing a great job of acting like China's so fucking great. China isn't great. We don't need to be partnering and working with them on shit. We need to be figuring out ways to disconnect them from things so they don't have all this power. We owe them trillions of dollars. We're in their pocket. So when Nancy Pelosi was to go fuck around visiting Thailand and stuff, that's not helpful. It isn't. Moving on from No Media Allowed. Thanks for turning into this Wednesday edition of No Media Allowed, No Media Allowed, No Media Allowed. They lie to us anyway. Let's get to an important part of the conversation. Hoarding isn't good. Hoarding isn't good. And I think that COVID and just life can sometimes get in the way and convince you that you need to wait to look at things before you get rid of them. But I think that that is wrong. I think that you can't just hold things because you want to. I think at some point you have to throw clothes away. You have to throw shoes away. You have to get rid of pocketbooks and coats and papers and books and shit that you don't use. If you're switching something, you need to get rid of it. You can't just hold on to things. And it's okay if you don't hold on to things and you do let things go. Hoarding isn't the answer. You don't want to get to the point where you legit can't see anything where you live. That means you have too much crap. And Skip has said to me many times, like, I have to just get rid of shit. And he is right. I really need to take time and get rid of things. And I'm going to work as hard as I can to throw shit out that I don't need. I already started to do it earlier on. I got rid of that printer I told you about. I threw away a lot of stuff. I told you I switched churches, so I got rid of everything that had anything to do with the other church that I attended. And I'm really going out of my way to make sure that I'm doing the things I'm saying. I'm going to hackle the kitchen table. I'm going to hackle the living room, the bedroom, any place that doesn't look the way it's supposed to look. It needs to change. So, I'm going to be better. One, it'll make the place I live look better, and two, it'll be less things for me to do. If you're wearing something, put it back after you're done wearing it. There you go. That helps with clutter. Clutter is not the answer. You can't be lazy. You have to get up and you have to not be lazy. Next part of our conversation, the love of pets. And we've talked about pets before. And having a pet is like having a son or having a daughter. It's just furry and it has four legs instead of two. And it's really enjoyable and it's a lot of fun. And I recommend if you don't have a pet, maybe consider getting one. It's just nice to be able to take care of a little being and have someone to come home to every day. Um, as you know, sometimes it can be easier to have that ability if you don't have kids or whatever, but it's still nice to have a pet friend. Benny is such a ray of sunshine and he has such a big heart and a small little Yorkie body, and he's just so much fun. And I just can't wait to spend all the time in the world with him and let him know how much he's loved, because he is loved, because he is amazing, because he does have feelings and emotions, and he is fun and crazy and just silly and all these things, and he has his own opinion. And granted, he's a puppy, but it's still absolutely hilarious to watch him roll around, nip at you, not allow you to play with toys, just all the great things, all the greatest things you could think of. Exactly. Pets are awesome, and if you don't have one, you should consider getting one. And you should also consider getting a Yorkie, because Yorkies are cool. You can bring them anywhere. They're very flexible, unless you have one that's opinionated. Well, all Yorkies are opinionated, so just get prepared for that. But I think their opinions makes them very unique, so it's fun. Next part of our conversation: wear and tear on your car. I just got my Jetta, and there's already some mark on the back of it, so I got to get that fixed. But sometimes wear and tear happens. That comes with just owning something. That doesn't necessarily mean that you need to get everything fixed every time you see something, but it also does mean that you need to take care of it and look at something to verify that it's okay.
Stuck in parent mode? With care.com, you can find and book a sitter in under 15 minutes. Book your sitter with care.com.
Literally.
You know, really makes things. Taking a trip to see your next home.
Things happen to cars, things happen to your devices, I tried to get on moving on from cars to computers. So I got on my MacBook and there's something wrong with it and I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know how to fix it and I'm not sure what to do with it. It's from 2017, so I don't know if there's any point in me bringing it to an Apple store to have them look at it. Like, should I just try to troubleshoot it and figure it out by myself versus trying to make an appointment to bring it there? One, I don't have time for that. And two, I'm not spending money to fix it. So it has me, like, I went on there because I wanted to look at something on the computer. And it said there was something wrong with the internet. Now I connected it to Wi-Fi. I did all these things and it still wouldn't work right. How long do our laptops supposed to last? I thought I was going to get a good amount of time out of this, and here we go again. And I just feel like, is it not cooperating because it's a MacBook and not a MacBook Pro? Does that have anything to do with it? How do I deal with this? Like, honestly, I like Apple products better than anything else, and I am not going to resort to switching over to any other product outside of Apple just because I don't trust it long term, and I found what works for me, and it's not like regular computers and crap. So we'll see what happens, but I gotta tell you, I'm not sure what to do about this Apple problem. And I'm not sure how to fix electronics. Moving on from that, let's talk about iPhone 14. So I looked on T-Mobile. I was going to go on Apple, see how much it costs, and consider upgrading to it since I've had iPhone 12 for 2 years now. I didn't switch to iPhone 13. So I was going to do 14. But I don't know. Like, I watched all these YouTube videos. I watched my go-to YouTube videos. I'm trying to find it. What's it called? iJustine, Unbox Therapy, Ash BYT, all the normal people that I look at when I'm trying to figure out what to do. And I don't know. Like, is iPhone 14 worth it? And if I'm going to get an iPhone 14, I'm going to get the Pro Max because I have the Pro Max 12. So I can't go from what I have now to something smaller. I'm just not doing it. Pass. So I have like all these feelings like, do I wait or do I stick with the phone I already have that works? Granted, the reason why I was thinking about switching is because I was tired of the battery dying all the time, but I'm not really sure how to deal with this, honestly. Like, how do I deal with this? That's kind of the question that I had, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. Like, as someone that likes technology, I don't know if you need to switch to a new phone every year. I had the iPhone trade-in program every year, but every time I got used to the phone, I was trading it back in. I don't know if I want to do that just so I don't have to. If that's the situation, then maybe I should go back to the iPhone thing I had before. But there's a lot of questions here. One, the bill isn't in my name, it's in my mom's. Two, how am I going to deal with this? And three, what's next? I don't know. I'm not sure where to go with technology from here. Like, I like phones, but do I want to spend $1,000 every year to get a new one? That's what I'm struggling with. Like, I don't know. Like, my husband still has a 10R, but his isn't working right either. So, like, I asked him, do you want to switch too? And he's like, no. So, like, it leaves me feeling like, so what do I do here? I don't know. Technology. The problems of iPhones. Moving on from that, let's get into Star Wars talk. Crazy things are happening in House of Dragon. I don't know. I'm not really feeling the characters. They aged the characters out, and I don't know how I feel about that. Also, the storyline is not actually going the way that I wanted it to. These people during this time frame are selling off their kids to marry each other, and they're related to each other, so that part's kind of creepy and weird, but I guess it's okay. I'm not really sure how to deal with that. Also, I have a lot of questions, and I don't know if they're going to get answered. Like, I have a lot of questions. Especially because they keep changing the characters and storyline keeps changing and nothing is aligned right now. So those are my questions. I feel like Game of Thrones was more structured, but this is definitely in that niche. I spent my whole day off on Monday watching scary movies. I probably should have invested more time watching like shows I actually need to look at. So maybe Thursday I'll actually get to that. There's so much I need to look at and do, but there's never enough time to do all of it in. So there's that. We'll see what happens. But I also want to enjoy Halloween because I like scary movies and I want to be a part of the horror and everything that's into that. We watched some scary movie that was about like a forest or something. I told you about that yesterday. It was pretty good. It kind of ended weird and strange though. I don't know. Some of these horror movies aren't really the best, but some of them are good. I mean, I guess you just have to wait and see. I kind of want to watch Scream. I'm tempted to put Halloween on, maybe Friday the 13th, and definitely want to watch old school Nightmare on Elm Street whenever I get to it. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to be patient about that, and it's just sometimes impossible, I feel like. We'll see what happens. Outside of House of Cards and the Netflix show that I gotta watch, what was it? House of Key, something Key. Wait, let me go on and see what the hell it was. I did want to talk about podcast and YouTube. I haven't really been on YouTube. I went on YouTube to look at iPhone 14 to decide if I wanted it or not. But I haven't really been looking at things on YouTube. Honestly, I've been taking a step back from YouTube just because I don't agree with all their algorithms and things. And But I mean, I don't know if I have anything against them. I don't like the idea that YouTube, wouldn't let people tell the truth about their opinions about COVID. That part has me feeling like, what the fuck? It turns out all the people that were saying things about COVID were right. So as far as YouTube goes, I don't know. Like, it's okay, but I wanted to create a YouTube channel like a year and a half ago, and I just didn't do it. I just stuck with a podcast, and I was like, you know what? Forget this. There's this other thing called Rumble, which is a more like Republican established um, media device, sort of like Truth. And I feel like, honestly, if I'm going to go on anywhere, it'd probably be there first. So just saying. I just feel like there'd be more of an audience to understand what I'm saying there. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. Next part of our conversation, outside of the fact that I'm second guessing YouTube, but I'm still going to look at it. They have some vampire show that's on AMC. Date with a vampire or something about a vampire, and it's just very, very, very strange. I'm not sure. It's very strange. There's also a lot of shows that just are not good. I mean, they could be good, but they are not. And I just don't know how to deal with that. Like, there's so much on. But I have, oh, that's what I want to talk to you about. Walking Dead. I can't tell you the last time I looked at that. That shit's still on, or is it Fear the Walking Dead? I don't even know which one it is. I feel like they got away from the original storyline so much, I'm not sure how to fix this. I guess we're going to figure it out. I mean, I'm not going to figure it out because I don't know if I'm watching that. There's so many things I want to look at, and I don't know if I want to deep dive back into that. I'm kind of like giving a break to like CW just because I feel like they got to get their shit together. There's so much on there that I was considering watching, but honestly, I don't know. Moving on from watching to eating. Hot Table is pretty damn good. Like, I haven't had them in a while, and we had them yesterday, and it was very good, and I really liked it. And I'm looking forward to, um, you know, getting back into more of a regimen with them. I told you that healthiness is very important, and it is, and that's definitely a healthy alternative. Extremely important, but you got to start the day off with water. You have to eat vegetables. I'm going to try to stay away from red meat, and I really got to just make decisions that are going to be better for my body, for my stomach, for my longevity. And you have to do the same for you. Like, just because you see somebody eating something doesn't mean you have to eat it too. Like, there's healthy options everywhere. You don't always just have to eat bad things. Like, burgers every day is not a good thing. Like, you should be like sometimes having that, not every day. And you can't eat steak every day either. You can't have like red meat over and over and over and over and over again. You have to eat things in moderation, and you have to have like a good hand on your variety. All that is extremely important. Water is definitely important too. Maybe switching to teas from soda all the time and not drinking as much coffee. As like, you don't need to get like an extra large at Dunkin' Donuts. Like, sometimes you don't need that. It's not always necessary to have that. It isn't. Sometimes taking time to maybe have tea instead, getting a tea kettle on and doing that might make a difference. So, just saying. Healthiness depends on your willingness to want it. That's it. You have to want to be healthy. You have to want to live longer and stronger. This is all dependent on your need for that. And you can change the way you eat. You can switch to whatever diet you want. You can get Nutrisystem if you want. If you want to get Factor or you want to do any of those meal prep things, you could do that too. You could even do Hello Fresh. Maybe second guess the meat part of that. But anything's an option. So why not do it? Anyways, this is the end of the Wednesday pod. Thank you for tuning in to Born to Be a Star. And I will see you tomorrow on Thursday. Bye. Don't forget you are a star wherever you are.